What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Diamond Deck Discussions Unfiltered. I was trying to fly through that because I got a question for Coach Jace. Coach Jace, why are steroids in sports illegal when makeup is used in a beauty competition? That's how we're starting the fucking show today, and I'm killing that. It's a great question.
It's a great question. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with because they say in sports that it helps your IQ, and I don't think like your
Timeout. Sports steroids helps your IQ.
it makes you better at your sport. Maybe not IQ. Is that not the right word?
That's not no IQ is be brains, bud.
Yeah. Well, I ain't got that either. So
No, but I'm saying, well, obviously, did you use steroids at one point?
no. Only whenever I was a little kid, I was on breathing treatments, and those had steroids in them. So yeah, there was that.
Well, that makes sense.
But that was doctor prescribed. So why is it? Yeah, I don't know because it makes you better at your sport, but it's makeup. I don't know.
No, I mean, technically, like in a competition, in a beauty competition, makeup is considered like the steroids, like the performance enhancing drugs, right? A good makeup can make anybody look good, right?
Yeah, I think makeup's not frowned upon, and steroids is frowned upon. That's what I'll go with.
I don't know the answer. This is a rhetorical question. It really is.
Oh, that's what I'm going to go with because one's frowned upon, one's not.
I just think it's stupid.
Yeah, guys out there, with the world that we live in today, you take a girl out and she's all made up. Take her to a pool first, and then make your mind up if you want to date her or not.
And with that being said, we had
this is dating advice from Coach Jace 101 here. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, we have a
Coach. I know you have a lot of thoughts here on your mind from the weekend, and it's not necessarily like baseball played wise, right? LSU did their job. You take the series 2-1. You did what you were supposed to do. Great. We'll dive into the two games that they won. I personally could give a shit less about the one game that you lose, because as long as you win the series from here on out, you're a top 8 seed. You're a top 3 seed going to the SEC tournament. Like, you're going to host a regional. If you win that, you're going to host a super. You win that, you go to a World Series as a favorite, which you already are. So I don't care if you go 2-1. When you go 2-1, I'm not even going to talk about the loss. I don't care if it's a Friday loss, Saturday loss, Sunday loss, or as of this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, unless Cade Anderson was just like horrible and only pitched 2 innings, gave up 10 or something like that. Then we'll kind of talk about it. But aside from that, I don't care about Saturday's loss. We mix things up, kind of where I got the start. Chase Shores comes in. Chase Shores comes in. He doesn't do his job. That's the guy I have my eye on. I didn't see it from him this weekend again. Whatever, you lost the game. You did what you had to do. You won game 1. You won game 2. You go into the Sunday nice and relaxed. You got nothing to lose. You get bumped up 2 spots in the rankings this week. It is what it is. I know you got a lot of thoughts about non-baseball related stuff. Do you want to go to that first? You want to cover games first?
The only thing I really want to say is other than LSU playing Bama this weekend, other upsets around the league. A&M, unranked A&M, went two games out of 3 against number 2 Arkansas. That's big for A&M, especially because we have them coming up. I think we got them after Tennessee, right?
We go there, yeah.
Yeah, and we go to College Station for that. So that's gonna be an exciting. Mark that on your calendar. Vanderbilt sweeps number 5 Georgia, and Vanderbilt's number 19. Vanderbilt's hot right now. Look at them to make a run. South Carolina goes 2 out of 3 against Ole Miss, and number 11 Ole Miss, and now all of a sudden, hey, SEC looks strong, which we do all the time. We have 10 teams that are in the top 10,
and you're talking about
top 25.
You're talking about a South Carolina team that's second to last in the SEC right now, only in front of Missouri, who's 0-18.
Right.
So,
and then one thing that you said that somebody said it earlier, but I'll be honest, I didn't have this either. I would have never guessed this. Kentucky drops 2 out of 3 Kentucky wins 2 out of 3 against Tennessee.
Yeah.
and we got Tennessee this weekend. It is a huge week this week. NFL draft coming up this weekend, which I didn't realize that until Aiden said something about it. LSU Kentucky or LSU Tennessee this weekend. There's another event this weekend.
There's another real big event this weekend.
Fuck, what is it?
What is it?
Son of a bitch.
Let me see how many fingers you got holding up right there. You were going. What was your two things?
Here and here.
Something on that.
Oh, I'm getting married this weekend.
On that second one.
Yeah, I'm getting married on Friday.
Yeah.
Real excited. Real excited. Long time coming. You're in 9-month long engagement.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm fucking beyond ready, dude.
Yeah.
I am so ready to be married to this woman. She's amazing. But other than that, LSU Tennessee this weekend is pretty fucking big.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna need somebody to text me updates. Friday night.
We're gonna need somebody texting both of us updates.
Yes, somebody put us in a group text, please. Sure, we're gonna find somebody with their phone at the wedding and try not to make it obvious that we're watching the game.
Yeah, it's fine.
But with that being said, look, LSU got 2 wins this weekend. They didn't look the best, but we got 2 wins. I don't give a shit how you slaughter the pig, as long as you slaughter that fucking pig.
Yep.
Right?
That's exactly right.
I don't care. I don't care. You're not going to drop in rankings because you won a game 13-12.
No.
You're not.
Nope.
You're not going to. Now, we did kind of say that game 1 would be a high scoring game. We didn't think that the way it happened would have, that's how it happened. We figured Cooper Williams would come in and give up some runs, which Cooper Williams honestly impressed me this weekend.
Dude, 11 outings now and has a 0 ERA. I did not know this.
I didn't know this either.
Because whenever he pitches, it is like
now
I feel like we got walks and hit by pitches like there's no tomorrow.
Well, what saves him is the guy that comes in after him the majority of the time. Whenever
That's
he puts 2-3 guys on, and the guy after him or the guys after him get the outs to where those runs don't score. So that helps a lot. Mm-hmm. But I mean, to have a 0 ERA in 11 games and coming in like clutch spots too. He's not just coming in, with either a big lead or this. Not like he's coming in spots that you would have never imagined him being in after seeing him pitch the first like couple games.
Yeah.
But I mean, looking at it all, just takeaways from the weekend, right?
From the weekend. All right. Yeah.
Takeaways from the weekend.
Yep.
Right. There's something that's got to change with us not being able to score early and often. Right. We always kind of come from behind, which if you saw us in SEC tournament last year, that was our MO.
Yep.
Right. If you saw us in the regional last year, that was our MO. If you saw us in any of these past few series, that's been our MO.
Correct.
To where we allowed 1 or 2 runs and, hey, let's put up a 5 spot here, or let's go, hey, let's claw back here. And now all of a sudden I want to be able to win games without having to win the games. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
I know exactly what you mean.
So we're in the 3rd inning down 2-0 or whatever. Like I want to be able to, I want to be up 2-0
right
in the 3rd and give a little bit more, take a little pressure off the pitchers,
especially against a guy in Tyler J, I think was his name, or Tyler Fay. Sorry,
Fay, that's it.
Tyler Fay making his 2nd career start, and you're making your 2nd career start under the bright lights of Alex Box Stadium.
Yeah,
and to let this guy go 3, and he was really good in this 3. He threw 53 pitches. I mean, look, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts, no walks. I mean, dude was really good. And they talked to the coach for the game. He said if he can get us to 3, that'd be great. Like, that was their ideal thing.
I mean, he dealt.
Yeah, he was really good. I mean, look, and their bullpen was really good too. We got to them late in the game. Like you said, it was 2-0 going to the bottom of the 3rd. We score 1. It's 0s till the 6th. They put up 3. LSU answers right back with 3 of their own in the bottom of the 6th. We go to the 7th. We put up a 0 spot, and then we come into the bottom of the 7th, and this is where, some things started happening. And we put up 4 in the 7th, 3 in the 8th, and all of a sudden Tigers win, give up 1 in the 9th, win 11-6. I mean, it's just one of those things where at the right time, things started happening, right? Jay waited and then started playing the matchups, and boom, did the matchups pay off?
They did.
Right? Ashton Larson, who hadn't had that bat in what seems like, 2 months, comes off and bang, homer, pulls a 3-run homer, give Tigers a big momentum swing. And then right after that, boom, Malam hits one, and bang, Tigers got the lead. And there was no looking back after that. They tried to make it interesting in the 9th. They got a lot of guys on base. We took Case and Evans out, trying to save him for Saturday, I believe. Put him on a pitch count after we went up 11-5 at the time, and brought in Connor Benj. And look, it wasn't the prettiest, okay? And I like Connor Benj. I'm a big Connor Benj guy. Wasn't his best outing, okay? You faced 5 guys. You gave up a run, 3 walks. That's not a good thing, okay? 22 pitches. You forced Jay Johnson with guys on base to go to your best reliever in Case and Evans. And he did what he had to do. 4 pitches. We're out the inning, ball game over. Tigers win. Nothing to be scared about, right? And, the decisions that got made late in the game were the right ones. And that's what Jay does. I mean, this is a national championship coach. This is a multi with former teams, with current team, multi Omaha performing coach and teams that he's been with. This is, I know you have a lot to say about this. We'll cover the next game. I'll kind of give a little hint right here. If you didn't watch the games and all you did was scroll Twitter or social media, you would have thought LSU went 0-3 this weekend. Okay? We'll get to more of that, because I know we both, especially you, have a lot of thoughts about that and the fair weatherness that these LSU fans seem to be these days. But for now, game 1, you did what you had to do, and you got to win. And look, it wasn't even Cade's best outing, right? Only 92 pitches. Like, he didn't do his best. 5 runs given up, 5 earned.
Yeah.
I mean, no walks, which is solid, 10 Ks. But 5 runs after coming off of what was your worst outing last week? We gotta have Cade 2 weeks ago that went 132 and 9. You ain't got to give us 132 or 9 innings against Tennessee, but if you can give us a solid 7 of 1 earned run baseball, we got a good shot.
If you can be under 100 at 6,
yeah.
If you can be at 90, 95 after 6
or less,
quality start.
Oh, very
100%,
very quality.
Now, quality start is defined as giving up 3 or less runs in 6 innings.
Right.
That's what a quality start is defined as.
Did you find that out looking up Vita Blue?
I did.
Me too.
I did. Yes.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
I was wondering what the fuck a quality start was. I ended up just pitching a whole game, just because it says you can do it in conquest mode, but conquest is only 3 innings.
Yes, I saw that.
So yeah, I fuck it, whatever.
I know. I played a rank game because I thought it had to be a rank game. I lost 3-0, but
so a couple things, right? You actually played online?
Yeah, it was my first ever time playing online.
Dude, we got to play co-op. I'm telling you, me and Andrew fucking wreck shit when we play. And we could play 3s.
Yeah. And
I got other people that want to play too.
Right.
Not against me.
I'll be on night whenever we're done.
I probably won't be. But so check this out. Right. So I had somebody at work today ask me, they can't put Auburn ahead of us. Or they can't put Auburn behind us. We got swept by Auburn.
Oh my God.
Auburn got swept by Texas, the number 1 team in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they still got swept. We won the series.
Yeah, look, the thing about the rankings,
somebody has to move.
If you've paid attention,
and we were 9-8.
Right. If you've paid attention at all to the rankings, okay. For weekend 1, right? Weekend 1, LSU goes to Texas. We're ranked number 2 at the time, I think, or number 3. When we go to Texas and we lose the series 2-1, LSU drops 6 spots.
Yeah.
Okay, 6.
Yeah.
And the reason behind it, according to D1 Baseball, was because the other 6 teams won their series.
Correct.
Okay, so take head-to-head out of it. That's not a thing for rankings anymore. It's what did you do for me this weekend?
Now, I will say, keep an eye on Auburn in the midweek game. They got Georgia Tech.
Oh.
They got Georgia Tech
that's
midweek.
Brutal.
So keep an eye on that one. Also midweek, Georgia Clemson. It's going to be on TV. It's going to be on ESPNU.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at some shit. But also midweek, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. That's
solid.
Yeah, insane. So I was also looking at it, right? So standings wise, Texas,
Ole Miss, Mississippi State in a midweek.
Yep.
Did they not play each other on the weekend?
Well, most of your midweeks are in-state rivals.
I know,
right?
but it's not normally against ranked teams, though.
Yeah. Mississippi State's not ranked.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is. Diesel, figure it out, son. Come here. Sit.
Stuck in here.
Yeah. So, anyway, look at Texas, right? Texas overall record, they're number 1.
Yeah.
In the nation,
as they should be,
and they're 16-2 in the conference.
Yeah.
Right, which is first place.
Right.
Overall record 33-5, 5 losses. Arkansas is second at 13-5 in the conference. Overall 34-7. LSU's overall is 34-7. Tennessee's overall is 33-7. Now, LSU and Tennessee 12-6, both of them.
Yep.
And then the next is Vanderbilt, which, like I said, Vanderbilt's on a tear.
Yeah.
They're 30-10. And
just because we're not going to bet on Vanderbilt don't mean that they're ever out of the contention of being a top team.
They're never out of it. Tim Corbin has that team right every single year.
So good.
I don't understand it, but you look at yes, Missouri's 0-18. They're 13-26, but they're the only team in the SEC with a losing record.
Where's Kentucky at in SEC ranking?
Let's see. There's 16 teams, so 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11.
So
they're
11,
8-10 right behind Auburn. Auburn is 9-9, and so is Alabama.
Yeah. You're talking about a team that just took 2 out of 3 from Tennessee.
Right.
You know, it's just one of those things. This conference, we've been saying it over and over all year long.
Powerhouse.
The conference is so deep, and it's so disappointing too. I was actually talking to my uncle about this yesterday. Crawfish bowl for Easter. Happy Easter, everyone.
Oh yeah,
but
happy belated.
Yeah, Crawfish bowl yesterday. We was talking about it. He's from Tennessee. He's a big Tennessee guy. Likes LSU whenever they're not playing Tennessee, and that's just the way it is. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And so we're talking about how good the conference is, right? And how we have like 14 teams in top 25.
Yep.
It's like 7 of the top 10 or some nonsense like that. Like, it's crazy. And I said, you know what the most disappointing thing is that we get penalized for playing each other.
Well, so I will say, when it comes to regional time, we don't.
Right.
So rankings wise, yes.
Yes.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the rankings of
right. But when it comes to regionals, you can bet on 12 out of 12 or 13 out of 16 getting in the regional at least.
Yeah.
Like Missouri probably won't.
Yeah. South Carolina won't.
South Carolina won't.
They're second to last in the conference, I thought.
Yeah. So South Carolina won't. But Mississippi State
got a shot.
Maybe.
Arkansas.
Sitting at 24-16. Yeah, they're 6-12 in the conference. But Florida?
Yeah.
Florida was what? Last team in last year?
Something like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, and they got to Omaha?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, dude, you look at, speaking of Florida, fucking Caglione, dude, I hope that son of a bitch gets called up
soon.
But,
dude, the thing about it is, like, when it comes to the standings part of it, right? Who do we just have face off against each other? Was it Georgia and Arkansas? They were 2-3.
What, this weekend?
Or something like that.
No, not this weekend.
Not this weekend. We just had in conference teams that were 2-3, I believe, faced off against each other. And obviously one of them won the series, the other one didn't.
Well, I don't know. But, Georgia and Vanderbilt 5-19. LSU and Alabama was 9-15.
But that's what I'm saying. So whenever you take a series or even sweep a series and a team drops 6-8 spots, whatever the case may be, is the team that got swept really worse than the 6 or 8 teams that they jumped when you got the ACC, where if you're not playing Duke, who started the year at number 10, or North Carolina, who started the year in the top 15.
Virginia started
number 2 and's falling out and ain't come back.
Yeah.
Florida State's really Florida State and Clemson's your only 2 ranked teams right now.
Clemson's good.
I think
Clemson
North Carolina
is very good.
I think North Carolina's back in the top 25, but
yeah, they were 12 last weekend.
Say you got a North Carolina or a Clemson team facing a North Carolina team at 12, right? If North Carolina was to take that series, and I don't know what happened in the ACC, I didn't.
I'm looking at it. North Carolina dropped the series 2-3 or 2 games to 2 out of 3 games. To Virginia Tech, unranked Virginia Tech. They were number 12.
So my thing about that is, with Auburn dropping, like I don't know where the rankings are yet. I was on D1 baseball earlier today, but I guess I didn't pay too much time. I didn't know we was going to go on this topic.
I mean, tangent, but we never know what
the thing about it
we're
is,
going to go on.
Even if North Carolina would have swept the series, right? Virginia Tech's a far less superior team than fucking Auburn.
100%.
So does North Carolina truly deserve to be above Auburn, even though Auburn got swept by a far superior team? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to weigh everything here.
Yeah.
And I highly disagree with some of the things, because D1 baseball seems to not even taking – and look, I love D1 baseball. We had subscription to them. Great, whatever. I thought their streaming was horrible, but whatever.
How did North Carolina drop the series? I thought
that's what you said. They dropped
I thought I saw that. So, final on Sunday. Is this Sunday? No, Saturday. So they played.
You can do it.
Yeah, they played Thursday, Friday. Did they?
Who you said? North Carolina is who we talking about?
Oh, they must have played. Oh, fuck.
North Carolina went 3-1, so they won the series.
Okay, they played Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm sorry. Yeah,
North Carolina's
so North Carolina did
one
win.
Behind us right now.
Correct. That's why I was looking at it and I was confused. But yes, Oregon won the series, number 16 Oregon against number 10 UCLA. So where's Oregon at now?
Oregon is number 13.
Yeah.
They moved up 3 spots.
Yes, correct.
So like, here's my thing right here. Okay, Florida State team. Florida State's good. I don't want to take anything away from Florida State, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you swept Virginia Tech. All right. You played earlier today versus South Florida, but you're also coming off of 3 straight losses. You lost 2 to Wake Forest. You lost 1 to Florida before you swept a far weaker team than you in Virginia Tech. Congratulations. You did what you were supposed to do.
Right.
But Florida State, just for reference here, went from number 7 to number 4.
So
while Arkansas, who went 2-2, and Tennessee, who also went 2-2, dropped behind them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of the things that you weigh here. And at the end of the day, when you got 54 games or 52 or however many, 56 games, and then you go into your conference tournament and then regional supers,
right,
World Series, the best team will come out.
Here's a question. Does Curiel break Cruz's record
of?
I think it's 76 games on base in a row.
No.
So I think Cruz did it obviously over 2 seasons.
Yeah. No, I don't. It's just too hard. It's too hard.
He makes it look so fucking easy though.
He does. And look, this is not taking anything away from Derek Curiel. This is the guy that will win the Freshman of the Year in the conference, in all of baseball. He is an absolute superstar. He is probably the most polished freshman offensive player.
I mean, it's been 41 games already
to possibly ever come into a Power 5 program, Power 4 program now.
I wonder where he was projected at getting drafted.
Because
I didn't see him anywhere on draft boards or anything like that.
He was going to be.
He took his name out?
Yeah, he took his name out. He said he was coming to LSU no matter what.
Wasn't he sleeping? He was sleeping or something like that, and Jake was trying to get an answer. Or it was something. I heard a story, but again, it was fucking Ben.
But yeah, I mean, that's a lot, dude. Like, that's a lot of games. And look, you start feeling that pressure, right? When you get on social media and you see people talking about it, you watch the game film and you hear Ben McDonald and all them talk about it every single time he comes up to the plate. Which, speaking of, announcers, guys, we're like, how many games in the season now? 30, 41? We're 40 games into the season.
Right.
Right? Malam's answered all your questions at shortstop. Can we please stop talking about that every game? Like, the big question at the beginning of the year, can Malam play? Yes, shut the fuck up. Talk about something else. Get some different notes. Like,
eat some more crawfish.
I'm so aggravated. Dude, every time. Yeah, they're peeling crawfish and stuff.
Weren't even the dude said, I forget who the other guy's name was, but he said, what do I do with the head? Ben said, you could just throw that out. No, you suck that motherfucker, Ben.
Yeah.
You suck it on national TV.
I mean, what's happening here?
If you don't, I will. I promise. It's Tony Seafood. Tony has some fucking badass crawfish.
Yeah.
We get it at work every now and then.
Yeah. It's not a paid advertisement.
It's not. Tony Seafood is the goat, though.
Yeah.
Well, besides my crawfish. But
dude, like, there's things we got to stop talking about at this point. You know,
there's questions that have answers to them already.
Yeah.
That don't need any more. They don't. Son of a bitch.
That didn't go in.
It did not, obviously. It did not go in. You're 1 for 2 right now.
That gets you in the Hall of Fame, you know.
50%.
50% gets you in the Hall of Fame.
Which Hall of Fame?
Well, all of them.
I don't know.
Which one would you not get in if you did? If you
were an NFL quarterback that threw 50%?
What if you won 50% of the Super Bowls you played in?
If you throw for 50%, you're not winning 50%. You're not getting the Super Bowls.
What if you're a run heavy team?
And you're 50%?
No. Your QB's still 50%, but you're a run heavy team.
You're 7 for 14.
Yeah, it happens. Mac Jones did it with the Patriots.
With what? 1 touchdown?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, eat a dick.
Dude, I'll never forget that Mac Jones stat, dude. It was like halftime. It was snowing. They had 5 offensive possessions or something like that. And he was 1 for 2 for 2 yards. It was something
50%, right?
Something stupid.
No, you won't fucking do it.
The Patriots won that game, though, I'm pretty sure.
Baseball, if you're 1 for 2 every game and you're hitting 500 every single game, 1, you're probably not qualified. Unless you have walks.
Yeah.
Right? You go 1 for 2 with 2 walks. You had four plate appearances, 2 at-bats. And that's your whole career?
You're Hall of Famer.
You're Hall of Famer.
Because your own base percentage
100%.
is through the roof.
100% you're a Hall of Famer.
Anyway, game 2.
Basketball? 50% from the field?
Absolutely.
Yeah? Okay.
Absolutely. No question about that.
What is Steph? I'm curious. 3-point wise, like 30-something%? Or
career?
40? Yeah.
I think it's 42.
42%? And, I mean, obviously, Steph is going to be a Hall of Famer.
Steph Curry, 3-point career.
But when you shoot
percentage.
I mean, when you shoot 300 threes a game.
42.3.
You're
on 9.3 attempts a game.
You know ball, dude.
What did I say? Did I say 42?
You said 42.
Solid.
You're a ball knower.
I like,
You like balls. Hey, you were about to say
I like to know ball, bro,
I like balls. Hey, we like cocks. But anyway.
All right, game 2, because let's go ahead and talk about game 2, because, obviously I said last episode.
Right.
Anthony Ianson. You've done it for me, like solidified number 2.
And he has another bad first inning.
It took me a while to come around, but I'm here. And look, you have a horrendous first inning.
He has a typical Ianson first inning.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about that first inning. If anything, start Chase Shores. Start Chase Shores on Saturday and then bring in Ianson in the second.
Yeah.
Because Chase Shores is probably only good for 1 inning and Ianson is very good after the first inning.
Dude, it's true. And it's one of those things. It's so confusing.
I would love to know first inning numbers versus the rest of the innings that he pitches. I would love to know that number.
I'm sure somebody has those stats, but it's not us.
Currently, it is not, but give me time.
However, if you want to sponsor us and put some people to do some research in the background for us, we would love that. That'd
be great. If they would just ask us, hey, what stats do you want? And we just sit there and talk about it. And we're like, you know what? I want to know these numbers.
Yeah. We'll have somebody in the truck look for us real quick.
Yeah.
They'll whisper in our ear that we don't have earpieces in. and figure it out. So we're able to tell you. I'm just getting a word.
Hold on, breaking news.
I'm just getting word here.
Breaking news.
Nope. His first inning ERA is 12 million. His second through the sixth is a .78 ERA.
Yes, and also word. I just shit myself. Okay. No,
but
it's crazy. It is crazy numbers. I would love to know those.
It's just one of those things that doesn't make any sense. I mean, look, you have, and as bad as the inning was, he still gets out of it with only one run.
Yep.
Right. You watch the game, pitch count gets deep. He's right at 30 pitches by the time the first inning's over with. Typically a 30 pitch first inning, you're looking at a 3-0 game, right? 4-0 game, something like that. No, we get out of the inning 1-0. And, he did his job. And it's something about the dynamic between Jay Johnson and Anthony Ianson. Because whenever you watch the game, when Ianson's on the mound, Jay Johnson takes most of the visits. He did it, and he did it a few weeks ago when Ianson struggled to get out the first inning and then goes 15 punches after that. He did it again in this inning. And in the time he came in was a single to right to lead off, a double to left, a ground out to the second baseman where a guy scored, then a walk. So you got one out at this point, guys on first and third, and Jay Johnson takes the mound visit.
Yeah.
And then what does he do right here, Coach? He goes 4-pitch strikeout. Guy still second, in which shouldn't have been a stolen base, should have been a defensive indifference, but whatever. Because we didn't throw down.
I've ever heard that.
But that's what it's called.
Indifference?
That's what it's called. Like, he shouldn't have got a stolen base out of that. When there's not a play at the base that you steal, it's called a defensive indifference.
No.
So like first and third, or you got a big lead in the ninth and they just want to take away the double play, so nobody even crashes the second. You don't get a stolen base for that.
I think you do.
What you don't.
I think. I mean,
I agree. You should, because you stole the bag. Whether they decided to play it out or not.
I think MLB The Show is correct, and if they don't throw it, I still get a fucking stolen base.
Absolutely. But then, so you get that, and then he walks the guy. So now we got bases loaded with 2 outs. And then what does he do? 3-2 count. Boom. Strikeout. And you get out the inning 1-0. Pitch counts 30. It is what it is. And then from there on out, it's lights out Anthony Ianson that we love. A 0 in the second, a 0 in the third, a 0 in the fourth, a 0 in the fifth, a 0 in the sixth. It's like, man, where's this guy at every single time? And then you bring Zach Cohen in, right? And again, a guy that you had to use for Thursday for 4 pitches, which you hated to do it. You hated to see it happen, but you had to do it, right? You couldn't take any more chances. Bama's getting some momentum in the top of the ninth. They've already scored a run. You can't take any chances here. Go to your best, as much as it hurts you, because you've already used Case and Evans for 2 1/3 here.
Yeah.
Go to your best. You try to get through with the rest of your bullpen. Fuck that. Get your best guy in there while it's still a 5-run game and a grand slam can't beat you or even tie you. Because I'm pretty sure we had Snell coming up in that inning.
Yeah.
Who has 2 homers already on the weekend.
Yeah.
So, he did what he had to do. 4 pitches. We already talked about that. But Cohen comes in, and, man, he's just so good. His freaking Bugs Bunny ass changeup that he's got, like, he's so good. And he does exactly what you need him to do. I mean, he goes in. We'd already given up 1 in the 7th, and we do our thing from there on out. At this point in the 7th inning, LSU's up 4-1. When we give up 1, and then we didn't score since the 4th.
Yeah, no, we didn't. We scored 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, and it ended up being 4-3.
Yeah,
and I mean, look, this Alabama team can hit.
Yeah,
they can hit, and they proved that in game 1. I think they only had their first 2 runs were on 2 hits. It was home runs, both of them. Like
3 homers in that game.
Yeah.
3 homers.
Like, dude,
Snell had 2 and Brady Neal had 1.
They can hit the fuck out of the ball.
Yeah.
So at any point you're scared. At any point in this game, you're nervous that this shit could go south.
I mean, look,
and especially in a close game like this game too. And
there's a reason why they're a top 25 team. Okay, this team is 31-10. Like, they're not bad.
Right.
They were 15 coming into the weekend. They dropped down to 18, which I think that's the right spot for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But man, it's just one of those things where, I was texting one of my buddies and he said, in the middle of Ianson's first inning, it's like, oh, here's Ianson again. He's not going to make it out of the third at this rate. And I texted him back and I was like, dude, we've seen it before and he still goes 6. And that's exactly what he did. Got out the inning. What do you have? 10 punchies? 11, 12 punchies in this game?
Yeah, 12.
12 punchies and goes 6.
Yep.
It's just one of those things where it happens. Like, we have seen this from Anthony Ianson. This is why I have been, up until Wednesday this past week, saying that he hasn't shown it to me yet. And, I said it Wednesday in our podcast that got aired Thursday. You have done your job and shown it to me.
Yeah.
And you did it again right here. Like, you're really good. You got all the making. I think your fastball's still a little flat, but you got 95. You like to sit at 92, 93. You got 95 whenever you need it, and your curveball's basically unhittable. And when you got the slider working,
good luck.
Yeah, good luck. I mean, it becomes his best pitch. Look, he threw I'd be willing to bet he threw his curveball probably 60% of the time.
Yeah, I mean,
it was working, and his fastball wasn't.
It's a typical. I'm trying to think of who. It's a typical Gavin Guidry outing. Gavin Guidry relies heavy on that curveball.
Yeah,
and I'm praying he comes back next year.
Yeah,
because I think if they do what they wanted to do with him, he's in a starting rotation next year. It's him.
I don't.
Well, they wanted to do midweek starts with him.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think he'll be there, though.
I'm just trying to think of who, though. I mean, obviously, look, somebody told me, I forget who I was talking to, but they said so-and-so is going to transfer next year and it's going to hurt us. And I said, so fucking what? I said, we've had, I forget who. I forget who they were talking about.
Who right now? I want to know who right now is going to transfer that's going to hurt us, because Schmidt's not going nowhere.
Schmidt's not going nowhere. He's Catholic High guy.
Cooper Williams is not going nowhere. That's our 2 freshmen.
Right.
Maverick Rizzi is not going anywhere.
Kason Evans, I don't think he's going anywhere.
Kason Evans is not going anywhere. He's going to be our Friday night guy next year.
If he does go anywhere, he goes to Tennessee.
Kason Evans is going to be our Friday night guy.
He might be Tony V's son.
He
might be Tony V's kid.
Yeah.
We don't know. We haven't put 2 and 2 together yet, but
Kason Evans is going to be our Friday night guy next year. Like, he's not going anywhere.
I don't know. I think I hope we keep him in the pen.
I do too, but he's not. They already said they've already have talks about him being the Friday night guy next year.
I should have worn my sunglasses and said that the future is bright. Because looking at it, like if let's just say hypothetically, Cohen doesn't go to the draft.
Yeah.
Hypothetically.
Definitely hypothetical.
He's our Friday guy.
Yeah, but he's
gone.
He's gone.
Let's just be plain and simple. Chase Shores.
So if there's anybody that can be an impact arm that could transfer, it's Chase Shores. Okay. I don't think Shores goes to the draft because he hasn't had a good year.
No, he hasn't. But let me explain this to you. We've had a lot of guys transfer that were supposed to be good, right? A lot. We've had a lot of guys transfer over the years. They were supposed to be very promising. Obviously, you get recruited by LSU.
Yeah. You're a top-notch recruit.
You're a very good recruit, right? What have we had the last 2 years or 3? It's either 2 or 3. Number 1 transfer class. Number 1 freshman class.
Yeah.
Number 1 returning.
Yeah.
Please tell me how anybody transferring off this team is going to hurt us.
Yeah, nobody's going to hurt us, right? Because here's the thing about every sport and every job. Here's a life lesson for everybody out there listening. You're replaceable.
Yep.
Okay? You're replaceable. All you are is a number. In the grand scheme of things, unless you own it and started it from the ground up, and even then you're still replaceable, by the way. You're replaceable. Everybody is in every single aspect in every job out there.
Yep. And this is a job.
And with the recruiting portal now, I saw something just a while ago from ESPN I got on my phone that said they're in the process of figuring out a way of how teams can pay players directly So instead of getting sponsors from everybody, teams are able to pay players directly. If this all comes into play, this whole transfer portal is going to go. Look, it's already crazy. Okay, whenever you got 6,000 transfers, first off, you got a problem in your sport. Secondly, it's a free for all. I mean, everybody's a free agent now. We're playing a major league sport, NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball. Take your pick. You're playing a major league sport at the college level because everybody is a free agent.
Yeah.
Once they're done in mid-May in high school, you're a free agent.
This is a minor leagues.
Yeah. And if you don't believe that you're a free agent, Nico, however the hell you say Amaloleva, or whatever the hell you say his last name,
I believe. Yeah.
From Tennessee, had a deal with Tennessee out of high school to get paid $10 million. $10 million wasn't enough for him. You decide to leave, and you commit to UCLA, who you signed with today. Okay?
For 1 point.
And you know what you did? You didn't do nothing because you went to a weaker school. You went to a worse offense. You went to a worse head coach.
Yep.
Tennessee was 9th in the country in offense last year.
And also, Tennessee, he blamed it on that. He said the offense just isn't a fit for me.
9th in the country. Right. He's a QB in a Josh Heupel offense that airs the ball out all day long.
Shout out to Heupel, too, because he's probably one of, I'll say, about 15 or 20 coaches in the nation that would have said bye-bye.
No, I think a lot more would have.
Well, there's a lot of coaches.
I think he set the standard.
Also, shout out to Dan Lanning, too. So Dan Lanning was the one that called him.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, just letting you know your quarterback is shopping teams, blah, blah, blah.
Dude, it's just a joke. Put the numbers together, okay? $10 million over 4 years. If you would even stayed 4 years, first off, Nico.
Right.
$2.5 million a year. No. It wasn't good enough.
Right. Now,
you demanded $4.5 million. What are you going to do with $4.5 million as an 19-year-old?
Somebody explained this perfectly today. They said back in college, $100 in my wallet I was rich.
Yes, exactly.
I didn't have that luxury. I went to River Parish Community College, where I started the underwater basket weaving team.
Where I had 2 jobs I was working whenever I wasn't at school.
Right. I was also working. I didn't play sports, but you did. And it was.
I went to RPCZ too.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't play sports.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't understand how it is, but I was also at the time I was married.
Yeah.
I had a house. I bought a house while I was in college and all. I don't understand how you can't live. Now, we'll say this, and then we'll get back to baseball. But I will say this. He is the cousin of DJ Uiagalelei. Right?
Uiagalelei?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he'll transfer 6 more times.
Exactly. And apparently the dads are their managers.
Well, yeah, that's the whole problem.
And I think they're wanting more money.
Well, yeah,
which is horseshit.
That is what happened. That is what came out.
Tennessee, no state income tax.
Tennessee,
California,
right?
Huge income tax.
Yeah, $2.5 million in Tennessee versus $1 million in California. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, 1.7, I believe, or something like that. That's what he got. I think after taxes, it ends up being like 700,000 or some shit.
Yeah,
is what he gets.
And after taxes in Tennessee, you would have had what, 2.2,
right,
instead of 2.5.
Right. Well, you only pay federal.
Right. That's why I said 2.2 instead of like 1.7.
Yeah.
But
so
it's just, look, shout out to Josh Heupel in Tennessee for essentially setting a standard of, hey, look, you're still the player.
Now
you don't tell me what you're worth.
No, fuck no. I know what you're worth. Now, you know what you're worth.
Frankly, I'm a very old school kind of thinker. I don't think these guys should get paid, and I know NCAA brings in hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars a year.
I don't know if you saw what Greg Sankey said.
I get it. Okay, I get that whole point. But at the same time, you're 18, 19 years old, 20 years old. You're on a scholarship where you ain't got to pay for school.
Yep.
You're on a scholarship where you ain't got to pay for a room. You're on a scholarship where you ain't got to pay for food.
The issue is
you are footballing, basketballing, baseball, 300 out of 365 days a year, and you're in the gym for, I played D1 game. Okay, I played at Nichols for a summer or for a fall before I tore my meniscus. You're up at 6 a.m. eating breakfast. You go to class, or you're supposed to go to class.
100%.
Okay.
Yep.
Actually, let me restart. You're up in the morning at 5:30 eating breakfast. You got a gym workout at 6:30. Then you go to class from 7 to 2, and then you got another workout, and then you start baseball practice, and then you got to have study time.
Study hall.
Right? Then you got to have study hall till 7, 8 o'clock, and then you repeat that cycle 6 days a week.
Yeah.
When you're not playing games.
Right.
When you're not traveling and playing games.
Right. Now.
You don't have time to spend 1.7, 2.5, 10 million, 50 million fucking dollars. You don't have time to do it.
Now, two things. One, I would have so much time to spend that money. Amazon is a motherfucker, and I promise you, I'd have a house. I'd have all kinds of shit delivered.
You can't. You live on campus. You have to have roommates.
No, I'm going to buy a piece of land outside of campus.
You can't.
You can't. Fuck you. Okay, well, look, the other thing, I don't know if you heard what Greg Sankey said.
I probably didn't.
So Greg Sankey is trying to take the SEC and basically get out of the NCAA.
Good for him. I hope they do.
So the NCAA is trying to not let that happen. Yeah. But Greg Sankey and then I think the commissioner of the ACC and possibly Big Ten as well are trying to move out of the NCAA. Mm-hmm. And if that happens, let me ask you, do you have to fucking go to class?
What happens?
Or are you in college anymore?
What happens if that happens?
Like, because I don't.
What regulation are you under?
Exactly. Are you at that point, does the school team not be affiliated with the school?
Are you allowed to compete for a national championship, or do we just have a Power One school?
Right. I don't know.
Because right now we're already down to a Power 4 because we took the Pac-12 out.
Right, but well, the Pac-12 just dispersed.
Yeah, but they're no longer a thing. So
correct.
You went from Pac-5 or Power 5 to Power 4 now. So you take Big Ten, ACC, SEC out, you got a Power 1 that's still under the NCAA model.
Yep. I don't.
The question is, what happens?
That is the question.
If it happens, what happens is the question.
Do not know.
And I don't think anybody can really predict that without knowing. All right, back to some baseball. That's what we do here on Diamond Deck Discussions Unfiltered. We go on a tangent.
We're talking about baseball.
We find a rabbit hole that we just go down. All right, Coach, look.
Speaking of rabbit hole, you had a good Easter?
Did. Yeah, okay, we had crawfish bowl, 4 sacks of crawfish for about 13 people. It was way too much, but they were massive. They were tiny lobsters.
Yeah.
Massive. Every single one of them. It was very good. Drew, Jesse, thank y'all. It was fantastic.
Of course.
Fantastic.
Of course, Jesse's involved.
Yeah.
We ended up doing 2 sacks at Dad's and had 7 people.
Yeah.
And when I tell you there was maybe a pound left.
Yeah.
64 pounds total.
We had 125 pounds.
Oh, all right. Well,
yeah. It was a lot.
My dick's bigger than yours.
So, dude, it was funny because I walked up to Drew and was like, look, these, whenever I first got there, we went to look at him, he's cleaning them, whatever. Right. There's still 2 sacks that ain't even been touched yet. We got 2 sacks, ones that's clean, ones that's not clean in the water. And I walked up to Drew, I said, dude, these crawfish are huge. And he goes, I mean, Jace, you got to think about it. Like, my reputation's on the line here.
Right.
When people talk about going to a Drew crawfish boil, they're going to say, no, we're not going because they're small. Or they're going to be like, yeah, that's the one you don't want to miss because they're so big.
Right. Exactly.
And he goes, my crawfish reputation is on the line here. He said, I'm going to have a bunch of people over, which we expected to have about 20 and only got about 13. So
yeah,
whatever. But he's like, my reputation's on the line here. Like, me and Jesse, our reputation's on the line with what kind of crawfish we have. If they're big, if they're small, if they're medium, like people, that's what people talk about at this time.
Yeah.
Like, I looked at him, I said, yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I said, well, your reputation precedes you.
I also noticed you have a fucking Band-Aid on your finger.
Yeah.
Did you also cut yourself with a knife?
No.
Like I did?
No, I did this today.
Paper cut?
No.
Oh. Let's say, oh, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, I'm a big biter. My fiance hates it. It's like her pet peeve with me.
You know what killed me of that? When I got braces. When I got braces when I was in middle school, I tried to bite them and it hurt.
Yeah, my fiance hates it. If she could change one thing about me, that would be it.
I'm sure she'd change other things, but
no, if she had one pick, you'd be like, "What is the one thing you would change about Jace forever?" She'd say him biting, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, you want me to text her?
No,
well, she's at her class right now, so
no, it's okay. Victoria's visiting her aunt too.
She's at her AA class, so I'm just kidding.
She's a recovering.
She don't drink. She's at her Pilates.
She doesn't drink. She's at. It makes sense.
Yeah, no, she's at her Pilates class.
Never knew this about her. Speaking of which, cheers.
Yeah, cheers, bud. Welcome to. But all right, Coach. So we've kind of been laughing a good bit. We've been joking around, talking about some stuff that we don't normally talk about on the show. But look, I do want to get back to some baseball. I do know that we have to get serious for a while because. Look, the thing about LSU is you're like, yes, we expect greatness, and yes, you name yourself the powerhouse. You got a whole series about it. You name yourself the brand in LSU that we've talked about 1,000 times.
Right,
Coach. I don't know about you, but well, I do know the fair weatherness of these fans.
Yeah, is
beyond me. Like I said just a few minutes ago, if you would have been if you didn't watch the game and all you did was check Twitter, you thought LSU went 0-3. Okay. I don't even want to get started because if I do, you're going to be sitting there in silence for like the next day because I could just go on and on about how much LSU quote unquote diehard fans just piss me off because we're as big as LSU fans as anybody. We may not know all the history and every single player and their number and what year they were fucking born, but we're as diehard as anybody is out there. We love our Tigers, plain and simple.
Yeah.
But we're also very real. You're not going to go 56-0. If you do, go to the fucking lotto because you won it already.
Well, if you do, you still have more games to play.
Yeah, you still got more to play. An undefeated season, thinking you're going to beat every unranked team 3-0 in the SEC, thinking you're going to sweep the whole thing, thinking that, yeah, on paper we're better. Bro, if this game was played on paper, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Red Sox, the Cubs would win the World Series every year. LSU and Florida and Tennessee, Tennessee over the last few years. I'm not giving Tennessee the props that they think they deserve, saying that they're the standard of baseball for the last 50 years because you're not. That would be our national champions every year.
Right.
That would be the teams that only have one loss a year or no losses a year. It doesn't happen. It's baseball. We see nobodies come into Alex Box Stadium and win on a random Tuesday. Right?
Not this year, but yes.
Yeah. We see people on a random Tuesday go to Neyland and win. The shit happens. It's baseball. We saw Omaha come in here, get their asses beat, but take a game from LSU because it's baseball.
Yeah.
A pitcher stuff might just be working that day.
We saw Southern last year no-hit us through 7.
That's what I was referencing whenever I said Tuesday at Alex Box was the Southern game, actually.
Yeah.
It's, dude, I don't know. Like I said, I could go on and on and on. But these Fairweather fans that when everything's great. And when everything's bad, LSU sucks. Jay Johnson's the worst. This team is this. This person needs to not be in a lineup anymore. This team can't play baseball. I don't understand why they do this or why they do that. They need to fire everyone. Man, go get a life, bro. Because there's just.
Let me tell you like this. On any given day, if you hit 212 as a team, you probably don't win a game. Right? And that's what we did this game 3. All right? We had 212. Now, we only struck out 9 times, which means what? We're putting fucking balls in play. But we're probably putting a lot of balls in the air. We're not playing. God damn it.
Did that split the corner?
That went in the corner. Probably upside down. So whatever you had left in it. on the floor.
A little backwash on the floor.
Yeah, we call that something else. Can't say it here, but we do call that something else. I'll tell you in a minute.
I was about to say, you have to text me that one. I'm not
familiar. But
you got it for a second.
But look, we struck out 9 times this game, which isn't bad. We only had 4 walks, but that's the thing. We put the ball in play. We hit 2 home runs. I don't understand why fans. I had some people ask me today at work, what happened to LSU? What do you mean what happened? We won the fucking series. That's exactly what happened. We won the series. I don't understand what the gripe is. We won the series. We're a top 8 seed right now. And as long as we compete with Tennessee this weekend, I'm not saying we stay there, but we don't go down past 10. And then you go ahead and you compete against A&M. You compete against Arkansas. That's what the name of the game is. The name is competing. We lost by 3 runs. That means somebody on Alabama got a save. If somebody on any team gets a save, it's a close game. You were competing. We had quality at bats. We had I didn't understand the whole not starting Shores and then bringing him in. I didn't understand that completely, but we're not going to. We're not going to understand it because we are not Jay Johnson. We're not in Jay Johnson's head, and we believe in Jay Johnson on this podcast. In Jay we trust for sure, forever and always, until he leaves. And then once he leaves, if he goes somewhere else, we'll still keep an eye on him. But at this point in time, what we understand about this game 3 is that we lost. Okay? But what we should understand is this one, it mattered, but not as much as everybody fucking thinks. This game, yes, it matters. A sweep would have been great, but I guarantee we wouldn't have been past number 7. We stay at 7, whether we sweep or win the series, because everybody in front of us won their series.
Except Tennessee and Arkansas.
Do we move in front of them if we sweep?
Probably. But you're talking about from moving from 7 to 5.
It doesn't matter at this point.
No.
I don't think.
No.
Now, when we get close to crunch time, I think when we got 3 series left.
Which is now. We got Tennessee, A&M, South Carolina left.
And Ole Miss.
Oh,
we got 4. I believe Ole Miss. Right before.
Oh, we got Arkansas. It's Arkansas before Carolina. So we got 4 series left.
Yeah, okay.
A&M,
Arkansas, not Ole Miss. Not Ole Miss. Not Ole Miss. Oh, it might be Ole Miss. Mm-mm. You looking at it?
Yeah.
So we got just 4 series left.
4 series. We got Tennessee, midweek versus Southeastern. At A&M, midweek versus Grambling.
Right.
Home versus Arkansas.
And then away. And no midweek game.
No midweek, and then out and then South Carolina.
Away at South Carolina.
Yep.
So,
which, let's see. Tennessee's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. A&M Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Arkansas Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we end on a fucking Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Which I'm okay with. I am. I'm okay with that because
I'm okay with it because SEC tournament starts 3 days after May 20th.
Right, correct. So here we go. Here's the thing. If we somehow, some way, Tennessee beats us this series, we don't get swept. We go 2-1, or 1-2.
We got 1-2,
right? We go 1-2 this series.
Okay.
We have to go 2-1 in the next 3 series to be back in the top 8. I think Tennessee sweeping us doesn't put us as far back as we think.
I don't either, because if you look at certain polls, this is not 6 versus 7.
No.
Okay.
It could be 3 versus...
On LSUsports.net, this is number 4 LSU versus number 5 Tennessee.
Right.
So, an LSU sweep, you're still in the top 10. You might be 10, but you're still in the top 10.
But we go by D1, though.
You're still in the top 10.
And it all depends on what the teams below you do.
Yeah.
Right?
I think no matter what, LSU's still in the top 10. And honestly, even if you sweep Tennessee, you go from 7 to 5, maybe.
It depends, right?
Because if Arkansas sweeps, if Florida State sweeps, if Oregon State wins their series, Clemson wins their series, Texas wins their series, you only move up 1 spot, 2 spots at best. Like, there's not a lot of room to grow from this point, which is the unfortunate part of it, right? I mean, you look at all the teams in front of LSU. Texas is 33-5. Right. And then after that, 35-7, 37, 29-7, 34-7, 33-7. Now, like, everybody is what in the win-loss column.
Watch Texas this weekend too.
They got A&M.
No, not this weekend. Yeah, they do have A&M, but watch them midweek.
What they got midweek?
Texas State.
Ooh, yes.
They got Texas State midweek.
Love that.
Right?
Love that. It's a good game.
Now look, ESPN has 6 and 7.
Yeah, ESPN goes off of D1.
Goes off of D1. Mm-hmm. So, but watch Texas this weekend.
Here you go for you.
Watch Vanderbilt this weekend. Vanderbilt's playing Ole Miss this weekend. 9-23. Vandy could easily shit the bed. Watch Arkansas, Florida this weekend. Okay. The issue with all this is I'm getting married this weekend. So Friday is probably out the question. Florida State has Louisville this weekend, 4-19.
But can make noise.
But I'm saying Louisville is 19. They can make noise. Okay. So
watch. It's pretty dope to look up there and see us on the screen.
Yeah. That's why I want to put a TV right here.
Yeah.
And put that there, and that way we can watch things if something's on. Nothing's on tonight.
Right. Nothing's on right now. Okay, so rankings wise, depending on what you look at, Perfect Game has LSU at 3.
Right.
But Baseball America has LSU at 4.
So I only look at D1 because that's what matters.
USA Today Sports and the NCBWA has LSU at 5, and D1 Baseball has LSU at 7.
Yeah. National College Baseball, Women's Baseball? NCBWA?
Not women's baseball.
Yeah. Women's baseball.
Because it's NCBWA, so women's baseball wouldn't make any sense. Oh. You need an A. I'm thinking National College Baseball World Association. Fuck, I don't know. I'm just making shit up at this point.
World Conference. No, World Classic. I don't fucking know.
You got to have an A. It's WA.
What is it?
NCBWA.
Oh, I thought
National College Baseball.
You said NCBWC is what you said originally. No. We'll run it back.
Run it back. Please run it back.
Okay. Yeah, we'll run it back. I'm just trying to look at these matchups. Georgia and Oklahoma, 10-14. That really doesn't technically matter. Now, if Georgia ends up sweeping Oklahoma for some fucking reason,
okay,
and we get swept by Tennessee, does Georgia move ahead of us?
Yeah, Georgia's at 10 right now, so you get swap spaces.
Now, who's 9?
North Carolina. Vanderbilt.
No, Vandy, right? Say Vandy sweeps.
Okay.
Like, do we just trade spaces with Georgia at that point?
Yeah, everybody moves up 1. Unless North Carolina loses a game, then, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
I do want to, I don't know much about this team. I just want to look at their record real quick. The team that nobody seems to be talking about is current number 17, West Virginia at 34-4.
West Virginia.
It's a great song. I don't know nothing about this team, though. I don't know who they have. I don't know what kind of pitching they have. I don't know shit about this team. I'm not going to lie to you.
You got Pat McAfee.
Well, they do have Pat. But, dude, 34-4, pretty damn impressive. Only 4.
That is very impressive to be at number 17. I'm very curious. Let me see. Hold on. I have D1 Baseball pulled up.
I do, too. That's what I'm looking at.
17, West Virginia. What are they looking like as far as what is their schedule? Win. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13-0 to start the season. They lose against Kennesaw State, but they win the series. Then they lose it. They drop a series against Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
And have been on an absolute tear since.
Well, they lost 1 to BYU since. So they lost the first game to BYU, and then they probably got a foot put up their ass by Rich Rod over there, and went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-0 since the one loss to BYU.
Yeah. 15-1 since losing that series to Arizona.
Yeah.
15-1, man. I mean, look,
crazy.
Team's good. Team's good. Now,
That's crazy.
Level of competition has not been good. Penn State this week, tomorrow should be a good game.
I might be watching because I want to watch Paxton. I do want to watch Paxton Kling. A lot of people thought Paxton leaving might hurt us too.
I'm gonna click on Penn State. I'm gonna go find Pax right here. Pax is leading the team in batting average. Coach, 338 as a junior. Center fielder right now. He's got 12 homers, which also leads the team. 41 RBIs, which is tied for second on team. How many stolen bases? 10 stolen. Jesus Christ. 10 stolen bases, which is tied, which is solo third. Coach, 10 stolen bases. Number 2 on team in stolen bases for Penn State is at 11. What do you think first place stolen bases? Pax got 10.
10 is at 11?
No. 10 is third.
Oh,
the second place guy has 11. What does the first place guy have?
By your reaction, it's got to be astronomically more. 30, 32.
Not quite that much.
Okay.
24.
God damn.
He's a shortstop. Junior shortstop Ryan Weingartner.
Yep. That's it.
Wein.
I got it pulled up right here. The pronunciation and all, it's all right here.
Oh, okay. You're lying.
I'm 100%.
Yeah. So, but man, Pax doing his thing. Bat has come off of his shoulder. 22 walks, 37 strikeouts.
You know what I forgot I can do?
Those numbers are still there, but man, 12 homers. Where did this come from, Pax? Man?
You know what I forgot I can do?
No.
This.
Oh, sick.
I can pull up all that shit and we can look.
Man, I wish we could turn a camera to see that right now. That's dope.
We can turn yours, or I can turn yours, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, so like anything you want me to look up, I can show you. I completely forgot we can do that.
It's all right. It's fine. Look, I do just
hour and 7 in. I just realized that.
Yeah, I do want to run through this real quick.
Let's start over.
Just to kind of talk about what we're going to see this weekend. Okay, you can expect to see a really good match first off.
Well, we'll preview that
Wednesday.
It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday series.
Yeah, do you have a little bit of things to do Thursday?
We play golf in the morning. I have my appointment. We record right after.
Oh, okay.
We record
in that.
Yeah, in between
your appointment,
my appointment, because you have off that day.
Yeah, I'm off.
So we can record at 1:00.
Okay.
Thursday.
Okay. Thursday
1:00. I was going to talk to you about that, but I forgot.
Well, we just said playing, so there you go.
All right. So Thursday 1:00.
Yeah, whatever time you
get at the latest. I should be done with my appointment a lot sooner than that.
All right. With that being said, I forgot we do a preview. So we won't preview that one. Who do we play tomorrow? I don't even know.
Northwestern State.
Play?
Northwestern State.
Northwestern State tomorrow at the box.
Unranked Northwestern State.
Yep, we got 5 more straight at the house before we go on the road again. We got Northwestern State here.
On the road again.
Northwestern State here.
That song again.
3 versus Tennessee at the box, and then 1 more versus Southeastern, and then we go on the road to A&M. So we're not going to preview Northwestern because we don't really know much about it. We'll see what happens. The bullpen got taxed this weekend. I'll be very interested to see who starts tomorrow for LSU. I think that'll be – I'd expect kind of where because he threw Thursday, so I'd expect kind of where to start. And Newton Schmidt threw later in the weekend. So
who started Saturday? Where?
Hyanson? Oh, no, Saturday was where?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind, not where. Maybe Cooper Williams.
Starting?
Yeah.
No.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe it's a full bullpen game because
William Schmidt.
When did Schmidt pitch? He pitched on
Saturday, I believe.
Saturday. Yeah.
Hold on.
Newt pitched on Sunday.
Right here. No.
Chandler Dorsey.
No. Ianson and Cohen were the only 2 that pitched Saturday.
Friday. So who was all Saturday?
I'm sorry, Friday.
Saturday we started where? Then went to Shores.
Schmidt.
Then went
Schmidt
to
went 2/3. He threw 19 pitches.
Okay, so Schmidt probably starts.
Schmidt could start. But so here's the
Chandler
thing.
Dorsey.
Jay already said that his midweek starts are done.
Yeah, okay. That's already been done. He's already started since then. Chandler Dorsey, Jacob Myers, Dalton Beck, where are you?
Yeah. Dalton Beck got in that bet.
He did?
He did.
Which was kind of odd.
Didn't look the best.
It was kind of an odd at bat. I ain't gonna lie to you.
He's listed at M Beck as well.
Yeah, he's still at
on
M
ESPN.
Beck. Yeah.
And H. Brown.
Yeah.
Is Jake.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. I don't know.
I just want to talk about how odd the Dalton Beck at bat was because he came in to hit, and I get it, righty on the mound, you wanted a lefty up the plate. But at this point, you put him in for Stanny, and Stanny's the leading SEC hitter in all of SEC at 403 right now. So
he did go over 3 that game.
But still.
I understand. I understand.
I get it. Like, I get the matchup. It worked for you the day before. Go to it again. Whatever. It is what it is. But, yeah. Anyway. Coach, what else you got? You want to talk about any more about these fair weather fans, or you don't want to go down that rabbit hole either? You kind of said your piece and you're done?
Yeah. I just have faith. Like, that's all I'm saying. Have faith and just understand that this game is chess, not checkers. Right? Understand the matchups. Understand what Jay is trying to do. Don't just understand baseball. Understand your coach. And your coach is Jay Johnson. Jay Johnson enjoys picking apart this game to the likes of we don't fucking know.
This is a guy that eats
You want to talk about eats, breathes, sweats, bleeds,
sleeps,
poops, nuts, everything baseball. Right?
Jesus Christ.
That's what we do here. Everything is baseball with him.
Jesus Christ has risen.
Yes, he has. Thank God. Well, thank Jesus. thank somebody.
Thank God.
Yes, thank God. Okay, yes, he's risen. But like, seriously, like, this is your coach. If you really love LSU baseball and you're a diehard fan, understand your coach.
Yep.
And understand, the saying we just talked about Jesus. What would JJ do? WWJJD. Okay. What would Jay Johnson do? All right. He would play matchups. He'd play chess against his team. He'd bunt like we did a few times.
Yeah.
He'd try to
the first and third, still second, getting a rundown, scored a run.
Absolutely. Kind of somebody trip and fall, whatever. What would JJ do? Seriously. And if you ask yourself that question and you're still questioning LSU baseball, you're fucked up. Plain and simple.
There you have it, folks.
And if you are still questioning that, you don't know baseball. And if you don't know baseball, don't talk to us.
And the other thing is, if you're still questioning that, not only do you not know baseball, you live in a universe that's not real, because you live in a perfect world. And
in a perfect world, we go undefeated and win the national championship.
Yeah, and you're not going to do that.
It's not going to happen. It's
the undefeated part. The undefeated part. We'll go to national championship. We're not going to say that's not going to happen. But
yeah, no, anything.
The chances are still slow. I mean, or limited, not slow. They're limited.
Hold on,
right? Only 8 get to Omaha. I mean, you got to play perfect from the end of SEC tournament. You got to play perfect.
Hold on. NC State could win the national championship this year. They're ranked 25 right now.
Dude, a team that's not even in the rankings can get in.
Florida can win a national championship this year.
This game and sports in general is all about who gets hot at the right time. But especially this game, right? Baseball is a different level of who gets hot at the right time, right? Because you could have 4 or 5 guys get hot at the right time. NBA, if you got one shooter that gets hot, defenses could do some things, except Steph. I don't think Steph's a shooter. He's gonna take his shots.
Right.
Like, there is no slowing down of Steph Curry.
Yeah. Check your laptop real quick.
What's wrong with it?
I'll just make sure everything's honky-dory.
Yep, 114, 31, 32, 33.
Okay.
Yep, we're good.
I'm just making sure because
Oh, I'm frozen up there. I look high. I look like Pat McAfee right now, high as a kite.
Yeah. I don't know why I was doing that, but
let's come on back down to reality here.
No, you're good. You're good.
Come now.
We'll just keep on because it's still recording. At least sound.
I know, but I don't want me to look
no,
like
you're
that
good.
for the next.
You're good. I promise you, it's fine. As long as you're still on the Wi-Fi, like how mine shit out last time. Yeah. No, you're good.
Because I got to close this out.
Yeah, no, you will. Don't worry about that. I should not have brought it to your attention.
I mean, I just look high as a fucking kite. There we go.
There we are. You're back.
Now we're back. Let's wait for the screen to clear up a little bit, and then I'll close this out here.
Okay.
This is a bad idea, actually. We need to take that down.
Well, what I need to do is put it behind you.
Yeah.
To where I can see it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Look, I'll take this out. I'll kind of follow up on Coach Rob's sentiment here. You know, you can't question Jay Johnson. This is a national championship winning coach. Just a couple years ago. I mean, what he's done in his very limited time here at LSU has been groundbreaking, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, since he's gotten here, you've brought a natty to us. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's still the players playing, right? Like, he can make all the decisions. You can have the number one transfer class, the number one recruiting class, the number one returning class, the number one freshman class. You can have all the top 10 players at every fucking position if you want.
2 years in a row. It might be 3. I don't know.
If they don't perform, though.
Oh, 100%.
It still comes back on the coach. That's sports. That's how it is. The players will get some grief. Ultimately, the coach gets the most of it. That's how it is. I trust in Jay Johnson. Okay. We were very critical of him last year. We said from the beginning we were not going to do that this year. I'll be damned if I start right now. I'm not going to do it. This team is 33-7. We are a fucking good baseball team. Top to bottom, depth on the bench, everything. We're a good baseball team. Sure. Can you have improvements besides Evans and Cohen in the bullpen? Sure. Name a team that couldn't. Name a team that don't want a deeper bullpen. If you give me one, argument's over. You know what I'm saying? Like, name me one team that doesn't want a deeper bullpen.
Yeah.
Now, on the flip side of that, name me one team that wants an offense as deep as LSU that can throw out 15 guys any given day. Because if you can name one more, I'll stop this argument. Because I can't name another one that has the offense that LSU has. 15 deep at any point in time.
I don't know.
And play the matchups and everything. So, look, the Jay Johnson criticism, the stuff I see on the internet, you know, Blake Ruffino that runs AYS Sports, we follow him. He was big into some arguments with some people, you know, that said, oh, Jay Johnson's stupid. Jay Johnson's an idiot. They need to fire Jay Johnson. It's like, give me a 33-7 idiot all day long. I will take that idiot on my side all day long.
It's not like football where Brian Kelly went, he's averaging like Les Miles was 3 losses a year.
Yeah.
And people are calling for his head. Which 3 losses a year isn't good for a contending football team.
I mean, if you go 10-3, that's a good season.
So it's a 12-game season.
It's 13 now.
Okay.
But
okay, 10-3, but that doesn't, depending on who those 3 are,
it doesn't get you in the playoff. It doesn't get you in the natty.
A 3-loss team does not get in the playoffs unless those 3 wins, or unless you
have a lot of help.
Unless those 3 losses are against top 5 teams.
You're still probably not in.
Right.
But, I mean, either way it goes, look, I get it as much as anybody. This is a top-notch program. We have the best fans in the country. Okay?
But also the worst.
But also the most absolute fair weather fans that there are. Because when it's all going right, it's going right. And when it's all going ugly, everybody needs to be fired. Everybody needs to sit on the bench. Everybody sucks. We need all new players. And this goes for every sport across the board for LSU. And LSU is good at every single sport. That's the wild part about it.
Yeah.
You know, I just saw Kim Mulkey 2 years ago win a national championship. This year lost in the Elite Eight, I think, and they're saying, oh, fire her. She's not a good coach. What are you talking about?
Yeah. You're a top 8 team in the country.
Jay Clark just won national championship, defending national champions with gymnastics. They lost in the semis, and they're talking about, he should have went to Georgia last year when they gave him an offer. What are you talking about? Let's just be honest here for a second. And instead of calling for a coach's job, just admit that you don't know sports. Like, let's just do that. Let's just admit we don't know sports. Okay, that'd make it a lot easier.
Yep.
Anyway, that's my rant about.
I can explain it in one way.
All right, let's hear it.
Future father-in-law.
Okay. In 4 days.
Yes. Fuck, it's 4. God damn it. I told her, I said, it's the cheapest it'll ever be right now if you just leave. And she said, no, I think I'm going to stay. I said, okay, we're doing this. Anyway, so future father-in-law, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't play golf when it's hot. Doesn't play golf when it's cold.
Okay.
And when he can't, the weather's right, he can't go play because he has something to do. All right. This is the way to explain the LSU fair weather fans, right? You got to be ready to go play golf at all times.
Yeah.
You got to.
Look, if you're going to claim yourself as a diehard fan, you got to be willing to live with the best and die with the worst.
Yep.
Like, that's just the way it is. You ride the moments out.
If we go 0-2 in the regional, you got to say, hey man,
30 years old. All right, I was born in 1994.
Fuck, you're old as shit.
Okay, but here's the thing about it. I can remember specifically on Sundays after church. I was way off. Wow. I can remember specifically on Sundays after church going to North Baton Rouge to my great-grandmother's house, passed away now.
Rest in peace.
Sunday dinners or lunches, Saints would always play at 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock our time. And, this was the Aaron Brooks days and the Joe Horn days and the 2-14 Saints days.
The Aints.
And I turned them on every single Sunday because I loved it. And I didn't care that they were 3-13 or 2-14 or 1-15. I didn't care at the time. I wanted to watch them play. I loved them. As I've gotten older, I could give 2 shits less about the NFL. Correct. I don't care to watch.
College football is way better.
Way better. I do not care to watch an NBA game. I do not care to watch an NFL game. I don't care to watch a college basketball game. I want to watch college baseball. I want to watch college football. I want to watch MLB. That's it. That's it. Like, I don't care about these other teams anymore, but I can remember riding with that 1-15 team, that 2-14, that 3-13 team, all the way until we got to Drew Brees in 2004. And, we did great things. And then you win the Super Bowl in 2009. And I was at a buddy's house. We went sprinting up and down his street, screaming because the Saints won. Because for so long, they were so bad, right? And you lived with it. And you died with it. And it just is what it is. And then it finally pays off. You beat the Colts in the Super Bowl in 2009. And everything, it seemed like, in an instant, they were never 2-14.
Right.
Ever.
Yep.
And you have to do that now. And this is a team that is a perennial national championship contender, national championship odds-on favorite to win. And whether the season dictates you getting there or not, only 8 of hundreds get to Omaha. 8 of hundreds get there. This is a team that started 3-12 in the SEC and took North Carolina to extras on an error from an absolute superstar in Jake Brown to beat us when we would have hosted a super had we not lost that game in extra innings after beating them to force a game 2. All in all, LSU fans, this is not a bad team. We have a fantastic coach. We have a great team. We have a great future. And you got to stop being fair weather fans. This is the game of baseball. You're considered Hall of Fame. You're considered one of the greatest of all time if you're successful 3 out of 10 times. Okay? It's the only sport you can be successful 3 out of 10 times and be considered great at it. All right?
Third. LSU is the third favorite to win it all right now.
Right now.
At plus 800.
And only 8 make it, man. That's I can't harp on that enough. We have hundreds of Division I teams. I think 126, 130 something. 8 make it. You have to be great from the time your conference tournament is finished.
You want to know the top 8 favorites?
Us, Tennessee.
Let's go number 1. Number 1, who's that?
Texas.
No.
Who?
Tennessee.
Really?
Plus 450. I don't know when this article was written, but from looking at this, Tennessee plus 450, Arkansas plus 500, LSU, attaboy, LSU
balling
plus 800, Georgia plus 1,000, Texas plus 1,600, North Carolina plus 1,600. So the first 5 were all SEC.
Yeah.
And then Clemson plus 1,800 and Oregon State plus 2,000.
That's 6, 7. Who's 8?
That's 8, right?
Oh, you said the first 5 SEC, and you said
Tennessee,
Clemson and Oregon State.
Tennessee, Arkansas, LSU, Georgia, Texas, North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina. Okay.
And then Clemson and Oregon State.
So 5 SEC, 2 ACC, and 1 whatever Oregon State is now.
Pac-12?
They were Pac-12, but Pac-12 is not a thing anymore.
Is Oregon? No, I think Oregon State. Yeah. Oregon
Big 10, Big 12 now?
I think Oregon State's still in the Pac-12. I think. Fuck.
Anyway, point still remains.
Let me find it. Pac-12 conference.
Dude, the fact that we're up there on the screen's wild.
I told you that's why I wanted to get another screen to be able to do that. That way I can just research shit and not have to worry about times and Oregon State's in the Pac-12, bro.
All right, so Pac-12 and baseball.
Oregon State. Oh, who the fuck? Washington State, like Wazoo.
Yeah, Wazoo.
Yeah, they're all in it.
The banner for College Game Day.
Sports.
Well, that's regardless of the point. Coach, I'm going to go ahead and take us out. You good with that? You got any other thoughts, comments, questions, concerns?
Look, man, it's eat or be eaten. And some of y'all fans are about to get eaten. Yeah. And you're going to eat your fucking words. I'm tired of it. I really am. I'm pissed off at it. I'm tired of it. And I really wish that, you just listen, just pay attention.
Yeah.
Pay attention to college sports. If you're one of the ones talking shit, you watch half of the game.
And then you scroll Twitter.
Right.
X.
Right. Twitter.
Yeah, look, it is what it is at this point. Y'all got our feelings about it. I'd rather you just admit you don't know the game of baseball. Like, if you want to talk shit, at least admit you really don't know what you're talking about. You just want to be a shit talker. I'm okay with that. I'd much rather that than you act like you know what you're talking about and you have no idea.
Hey, D, come here.
I'll let him out real quick. Then I'll close it up.
Yeah, let him out and close it out. Go, bud.
But anyway, look, you're 33-7. You got a massive weekend coming. We got number 6 versus number 7, number 4 versus number 5, whatever poll you want to look at. We go by D1. Number 6 versus number 7 this weekend at the box. LSU, Tennessee. Massive, massive implications right here. Take the series. Don't worry about the sweep. Go all out to take the series. That's all that matters.
Yep.
Take the series. Move on to the next one. Coach Rob, it's your wedding week, bud.
It is wedding week.
It's wedding week. I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm honored to be your best man. I can't wait to play golf with you.
Fuck yeah.
Thursday, and then come back up in here, do a little preview of some Tennessee LSU ball, and then
go to rehearsal dinner,
give my best man speech,
and then go on the boat.
Got a deep breath for my best man speech, then go on the boat Friday, have a good time, drink a couple beers, and throw it down Friday after. And man, what a time!
Apparently, we're going to the bars after. Victoria told me to buy a tuxedo T-shirt to put on, and then she found out that normally bride and groom go out in what they were wearing.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's what I told her that.
Oh, okay.
And so she found that out, and she was like, "I guess I'm going out in my wedding dress." I was like, "I guess you fucking are."
Woo.
So therefore, yeah. And I told her, I said, "Why wouldn't you want to go out in your wedding dress?"
Thank you.
I was like, "Go out in your wedding dress. Somebody's gonna buy you drinks at whatever fucking bar we go to, especially if we're downtown."
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, dude,
not Tigerland. Anywhere but Tigerland.
No, we'll probably be going to like what is that? Was that 1917?
Yeah,
something like that. Which I've never been out downtown, so you're gonna have to fucking.
Let's go to B&T's, man. B&T's popping.
You're gonna have to carry me. Honestly.
Yeah, I got you. B&T's is bussing. So
I'm not telling you to buy shit for me. I might give you my wallet and just say, "Hey, here's my card."
You're the responsible one out of both of us. So
here's my card. Just fucking start a tab and we'll go. Just Venmo me later. If it bounces, it bounces. I don't care at that point.
That's fine. Well, look, it was a fun episode. We enjoyed this one. Like I said, Coach Rob, congratulations. It's your wedding week. Going to be a great week. Hopefully it's a great week for LSU baseball because it's going to be a great week for Coach Rob regardless here and myself. We're going to have fun. We're going to throw them down. We're going to throw them back.
Just wait till you get the signature drink.
Yeah.
I'm going to be drinking those.
It's going to be a great time. So the boys are excited. It's a big week all around. It's a big week all around. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But for the time being.
Mainly Tennessee, LSU.
He didn't mean that.
I did not mean that.
If you're listening to Victoria, he didn't mean that. If you're not listening to Victoria, he did mean that.
Victoria's in the kitchen right now.
Just kidding. Just joking. But for the time being, I'm Coach Jace. That's Coach Rob. We are your boys here at Diamond Deck Discussions, and we are always unfiltered.